Welcome to Ageless by Rescu. This podcast is devoted to exploring the science of rejuvenation, uncovering the most trusted experts, the must-have products, innovations, and technology in the field of vitality, aesthetics, new beauty, and cosmetic enhancement. I am with my beautiful Ageless muse, Leigh Campbell. Welcome to Ageless by Rescu.
Bless you. I love you. Thank you for that intro.
I feel like we've had so many conversations about being ageless, about being thin, about being beautiful, about being good mothers, about being good lovers. So you seem the perfect girl and expert.
Oh, thank you. I miss sitting next to you at events. I miss events, but yes, many events over the years we've sat next to each other and shared our little secrets. So it's nice to chat on the podcast.
You know what's really interesting is when I started going down the path of ageless, it made me realize that that's actually what the beauty industry wants to talk about and what the wellness and, vitality industry is alluding to. But we kind of dance around, the theme.
Yes. Yeah. Well, anti-aging's a dirty word now. You're not supposed to use that. So there's all certain sort of ways you're supposed to talk about it without really admitting it. But hey, some of us don't want to age or show our age, and that's okay.
Yeah. And, one of the things that I found is when I went down the rabbit hole, and it is a rabbit hole of biohacking, and, peptides and infusions and all those things you can do in addition to the things that you and I love to talk about, which is, the creams and the treatments, is that athletes and anyone in a performance enhancement space has been doing this stuff for 40, 50 years. And the 100%. End result is that they're ageless. And it's not a dirty
But
word.
if you want to do it for vanity, you're not allowed. It's only if it's for performance. I love it.
Correct.
Very good explanation.
So I want to do it for vanity. I'm all about vanity. But I also want to do it because I'm a 47-year-old mother to an 11-year-old. So I want to look young, feel young, be young for her.
And be around for her for as long as you can.
Why do you want to be ageless? What does it mean to you?
Look, it's interesting because I thought about how I feel about all of this since I knew I was coming on to chat. And I don't necessarily want to be ageless in that I want to look young. I just want to look good for myself. I'm happy to have some lines and some wrinkles. I think, I'm 40 next year. It's unrealistic for me to not have that. But I just want to look the most well-rested, and I'm not well-rested. I need to fake looking well-rested, but I want to look the most well-rested and the best that I can at whatever age I am. I don't want to look like I looked when I was 20, but I just want to look really good and healthy, even if that means pretending that I'm healthy.
And do you see that the link is really about vitality, energy, stamina?
1,000%. I'm pretty bad at all that stuff. I don't exercise. I don't particularly take care of myself in terms of a healthy diet. And I've just let life get in the way. And I know that as a result, I don't feel as good. I don't look as good, all of those things. So I know it's all linked. It's just for me, like linking that chain back to getting in the momentum so that I am on a roll, because when I am doing all of those things, I definitely look the best, I feel the best, and it all feeds into each other's kind of little segments. But yeah, it's definitely all linked.
When did you kind of have an awareness of your beauty? Because you have a legion of fans, you have the number one beauty podcast in Australia and probably one of the leading beauty podcasts in the world now. When were you aware that your beauty and your aesthetics inspires other people, not just your expertise?
Oh gosh, what a question. I don't know. I never was into beauty growing up, strangely. I wasn't into women's magazines or anything like that. I was quite a tomboy because I idolized my brother. And then I got into makeup in my late teens and sort of fell into this industry, strangely. I'd studied interior design, so it was never about me. It was all about pretty things, but like pretty homes. And I don't know, that's such an interesting question. I don't even know if that's what people follow me for and like me for, but I appreciate the compliment. But I've never thought of it like that.
Well, people want what she's having. That's the conversations that I always hear about you, around you, is that you're not only talking from a place of expertise, research, experience, but you're also the look, the feel, the vibe that other women want to have. And that's, I mean, it has to be, because you wouldn't be as popular as you are across so many demographics without embodying something that other people want to bottle.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And look, I would never recommend something without genuinely trying it and genuinely loving it. So I do definitely walk the walk. I don't just talk the talk. And there's plenty of treatments that I've tried and loved. There's plenty of treatments that I've tried and they did not work for me. So yeah, I guess my profile is a product of, genuinely putting myself through all of these things and making sure that I recommend them. And then I think it comes full circle when people trust you and you build this trust in people because they know that you would never just take money to recommend anything, even if it's an expensive treatment or an expensive product, that your reputation isn't worth doing that. So I think that probably helps.
You work with a really diverse team of people. I know Kelly is, a lot younger than you. Then you've got Mia, who's older than you, and the whole team. And when you're giving advice, and, to friends, to family, to women who follow you, what are some of the tenets that you think are really important to mark off when you're giving, lifestyle advice first, and then we'll talk about beauty?
I try not to give too much advice to people that are younger than me from where I am now, because I think I used to hate it when older people did it to me as well. And I also think that people need to learn on their own accord at their own time through their own experiences. So in terms of lifestyle or life, journeys and mistakes, I sit back and try and help friends, but without projecting myself too much into the advice, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. And then people like Mia and my boss Holly, who are both, they're both got big birthdays coming up, 50. I look to them, I guess, for so much advice because they're exactly where I want to be at their age. They're killing it in terms of media. They've got fantastic families. They're very dynamic career women. And I would say that they're the same with their advice, actually. They're very measured in that they will never tell me what to do and what not to do at this age, because I think they know I'm at such a formidable time with my family and my career, and will I have another child and what will I do with my life? And so I can see sometimes they're thinking, should I tell her to go this way or that way? But they'll often let me make my own mistakes. And I'm really lucky. Both Holly and Mia are my bosses, but my really good friends and women I respect and look up to get advice, not just for career and for work, but for life. But yeah, that's such a thought-provoking question. I think when you're offering advice to anyone, you can't project too much of your own nostalgia into it, if that makes sense.
I do.
Because then it makes it about yourself.
Tell me, when it came to beauty, how have you evolved from your 20s into your 30s and now as you're going into your 40s? Tell me what aesthetic and what were you after?
I recently cut all my, when I say cut all my hair off, it was very, very long. And I went to Barney Martin in Surrey Hills, who cuts my hair. And he said, Leigh Campbell, I remember when you started coming to me and you were 21 and you had pitch black hair. And I had black, long hair. I think my brows were over tweezed at the time, but that was the look.
We all had stripper brows for quite some time.
We did, right? It was okay. I know. And the years I've spent trying to grow those back now is just honestly white. And that's what I give myself that advice? Probably not. I needed to go through that. And my beauty has evolved, I guess, at the peak of being, beauty director at Cosmopolitan. It was very much about appointments and treatments and doing everything I could possibly do. Mm-hmm. Now I'm a mum with a toddler. I can't get to many appointments. So I really have a succinct routine that's the exact essentials that I need to get to. I do a lot of stuff at home. I color my hair at home. Just because I can't get out, I don't have much time without my son, and I don't want to spend time without him unnecessarily. So I think going from a maximalist in terms of beauty treatments and appointments to quite minimal has been probably the biggest change. But I've just made that up with products. You should see my bathroom. It's just, I call it my office because my husband's always like, what is going on in there? And I'm like, that's my office, that's
my
your
chemistry
version of paperwork. Yeah, exactly.
When did you start having some serious treatments or anti-aging treatments?
I first met the doctor that does my Botox when I was 27. And I remember that because it was my 27th birthday. And
Is that Dr. Jeremy?
Dr. Jeremy at Ageless Clinic.
Yeah, he's gorgeous.
I love him. He's mad but divine. Yeah. And the reason I remember is I was doing a trial of Cool Sculpt, which is when they freeze your fat. I'm sure many people that listen
I've done that.
know what, yeah, we've done it all, right?
Yep.
And he was the doctor doing it for me. And I hadn't had any injectables or anything at that time. And he did the Cool Sculpt. And then I said, oh, I'm getting a few lines here and there. And he said, you should have a little bit of Botox. He explained to me what a little bit of Botox would do. He didn't tell me I needed it. And I was like, no, I'm too young. And I didn't need it. But
and how old were you exactly?
27.
Okay, cool.
27. But I was still worshipping the sun at this stage because I thought I was invincible. And I used to sunbake completely, body oil, no SPF. Oh my God, I can't believe I did that. And so that was my first foray into, he does what he calls baby Botox, and it's just tiny little bit. Your face still moves, everything's still, you've still got full expression. And so that's when I first sort of started what I would call hardcore anti-aging in terms of not just creams and serums, but injectables. Yep. And that was my first go.
So you talked about Cool Sculpting. Was that the only body treatment you've ever had?
No, I did a lot back in Cosmo days of trialing Cool Sculpt. I did a lot of, is it not Thermage? I can't even remember the name.
You can do Thermage on your body.
Was it? I'm like, maybe. Look, honestly, I was doing something every second month, and I hadn't done a lot in the last few years until about 4 or 5 months ago. I tried M Sculpt, which is relatively new.
I saw it on Miranda and she loves it. She swears by it.
I saw it on the Kardashians, and so
she does it. She says it's the only thing that's really helped after 3 babies. I'm dying to have it.
Well, that was the thing, because for me, like my body, I was very happy with my body post baby. I'm running around after a toddler all the time. I have no problem with my body or my weight, but tummy's always been my problem area, in inverted commas. It's not a problem, but you know what I mean. The area I could improve. So I did 4 sessions of it, and I have to say it's extremely expensive. It's about $1,200 a session.
What?
I know, and for half an hour session, but my thought process was, if I'm going to try for a second baby, it's really good at strengthening the core. And I had ab separation from pregnancy.
Me too, yeah.
And also it's great for fat loss. And who doesn't want that? Let's face it. And so I did the 4 sessions. It's such a unique feeling. It literally feels like you're doing 10,000 sit-ups in half an hour. It's not painful, but it's pretty uncomfortable, I must say. But the results have been really great. So that was the latest thing that I did that I was like, wow. Because I think you and I, doing this for 20, 30 years, we see a lot of treatments come and go. We see a lot of things, that sounds okay. Whereas this was quite unique to me. I hadn't seen it ever before. And that was the latest kind of body thing that was a bit of a cheat that I think works. You know what else works? Pilates, but I'm too lazy.
Do you think it's different to other, treatments that do tensing and relaxing? Because it's quite expensive
It's so expensive.
For what is also
available. I think when you think about it, you're spending 2 hours all up for the results. I do think whether it's worth it, that's relative depending on people's disposable income. But I do think that the results it promises are definitely a legit thing. If I have another baby, I'll be doing it again.
And what do you think makes you look the best? Like, what's the best bang for your buck treatment on your face? We've talked about your body. On your face, what do you think is the one that you go?
Look, I will say baby Botox, because I don't have any Botox in my face at the moment. And I have a toddler who doesn't sleep. I feel about 100. And right now, recording, we're in lockdown. So I did have to cancel. I haven't had Botox for about a year. And I had to cancel my appointment. And I'm absolutely devastated. Having said that, I go to a place called Bellamy's in Double Bay. Her name's Karina, and she does a treatment called the fairy dust treatment. And it's a combination of a special laser that she has, hyaluronic acid mask. It's a few different things, exfoliation. And I always leave there. My dehydration lines are really plumped. My skin's really clear. I just look like a sultana that's been put back into oil, and I'm a grape again. So I can't get there at the moment, but if ever I'm just feeling really run down and really tired, I'll get in for that treatment. It's 90 minutes and immediately I look like I've been on a holiday, or I look like I've had a lot of sleep, even if I haven't. So those two combined are probably what I rely on most.
Have you ever played with filler?
Yes, I recently had filler in my temples.
I've had that. It's amazing.
Yes, because I learned about peanut head, whereby when we age, we lose the fat pads around our temples, and that can make us look old. And so I had that probably, I want to say 5 months ago. And look, I liked it because no one would ever guess that you've got filler there. It's not a typical place to get filler. You're not getting bigger lips or bigger cheeks. But it did make a big difference. It made my face look more youthful, I think. I'm just looking to see if I need it again now. I can't remember what I looked like before, but when Dr. Jeremy suggested it, I thought, oh, that's a weird place. Like, what? But it makes a massive difference. Another time I've experimented with filler, I was 22 or 3, I want to say.
Wow.
There was a new filler on the market, a permanent injectable implant. I won't mention the name, but it promised bigger lips forever. And I went and had it done. And then 2 or 3 days later, I had a horrific autoimmune response.
Oh my God.
Entire face and lips were the size of a basketball. And long story short, I ended up having to have this ridiculous medication that was for cancer patients. And I ended up having to have my lips cut open and each tiny bead of the product tweezed out. Yeah, and now if you go onto forums, there's many, many people that have had this type of filler. It's not available anymore. But stupidly at 22, I thought I was invincible. Brand new product, sounded amazing. And that's why you won't see me. I'd love to get my lips just a tiny little bit because I've aged quite a lot in that area. My lips are quite thin and wrinkly. But I think after that.
But if you
thank you. Compared to how they used to be, you know how you don't notice because day by day you just slowly age or whatever it may be, and then you look at a photo of yourself at 25 and you're like, oh right, yes, that was a lot of collagen. But yeah, I'm just too frightened to have anything done in my lips. I don't want a big lip look, but I just think after that, because it was quite horrific, and still to this day, if I get very, very run down and sick, I'll still get the autoimmune response and my lips will puff up a bit because there's obviously a bit of the product left in there.
Wow.
So if there's a brand new injectable on the market, let lots of other people test it first. That's my tip.
And what about supplements? Are you taking anything for your skin, for your beauty, for your sex drive? What are you doing?
Oh God, I should take one.
I take it all.
But I don't. Do you?
Yeah.
Up until recently, I dabble because, as you know, you and I get sent lots of different things. Like, oh, that sounds good, and I take it for a few days or a few weeks, and then I'm quite lazy when it comes to beauty, I must say. And that's why I'm always looking for something that works with minimal effort. And then about 4 months ago, I was like, right, I'm doing this. And so I started taking collagen twice a day. And probably at the 2-month mark, I was like, okay, this is working. I like to keep my nails short and natural, and my nails were growing so quickly. And I was like, oh, it's the collagen. And my nails are strong and thick. My hair's growing fast. There's an overall radiance to my skin. So the brand I've been taking is Vitaglow.
Oh yeah, everyone
really
loves
impressed.
That.
Yeah, I love it. I think Anna, who is the founder, is a really inspirational businesswoman, and I really like the way she runs her business. And so I think that's also important if you're going to support a brand like that. And yeah, it's made a massive difference. So I'll keep taking collagen now, also because it's easy. I just put it in my water.
Yep.
I find capsules and stuff too tricky, I forget. If I can put something in my water and drink it throughout the day. So that's the only thing I take religiously. Occasionally I'll take magnesium for bed. I use a magnesium spray at bedtime just because I'm a terrible sleeper. I used to take it I used to use it because I used to exercise, but at the moment I've fallen off that wagon. But it's just a nice ritual. I just spray it on the back of my knees and on my feet. They're probably the only things that I do religiously. And then whatever's new that comes across my desk, I'll give it a crack for a while. And then if I don't see the results, or if I just can't be bothered, then I stop using it.
You are a renowned snack influencer, and I've been influenced by your snacks quite a few times. But do you have kind of like a beautifying,
good question.
vitality treatment?
Because most of my snacks that I like to review, my criteria is that they need to be from a mass supermarket and be in the unhealthy aisle. I don't do healthy snacks, but I must say the ones I love, Kira Rumble, who is an influencer, she's got the crumbled bars and they're infused with collagen. I don't eat them because of the collagen. I eat them because they're genuinely delicious. And if I'm trying to be relatively healthy, or I've eaten really badly, over a period of time, I will have one of those with a cup of tea in the afternoon instead of 3 Scotch fingers, which would normally be my go-to. And it's the added bonus is they've got collagen in them, but they are actually yummy. Whereas, a lot of those kind of healthy bars just taste a bit like, chemical Play-Doh. These don't. They're awesome. So they're my go-to if I'm trying to, if I've been really busy, I'm trying to be healthy. I have some in the car. Even my son eats them. I don't know if he's supposed to.
I give Lily collagen snacks.
There you go. I mean, if I'm eating something and I'm driving and he's like, "Mummy, what's that?" I've got to give it to him.
Have a nibble.
But, yeah, exactly. That's my go-to.
Do you do juicing, fasting, any kind of special tonics or
Once
rituals?
I did do intermittent fasting. I was going to a girlfriend's wedding. God, it's 5 years ago now in Capri, and it was obviously the middle of winter here, and it was Capri. And I did do intermittent fasting. I did 5-2.
Yep.
And so obviously on the 2 days you do 500 calories, which was really hard. And on the 5 days, I found that the 2 days made me really want to work hard on the 5 days to eat really healthy, watch what I ate. And I felt amazing. I did lose a bit of weight, which is oftentimes what people do it for. But I have to say the sharpness and clarity in my mind was amazing. I think also because I wasn't drinking, it was this whole kind of wellness cycle. I only did it for 6 weeks. So for me, it was sustainable because I'm not good at long-term things.
Yeah.
But I felt incredible. And I look at those photos and I think I felt really happy and I was proud of myself. And so oftentimes I think, oh, I should do that again. I should give myself a 6-week challenge. But maybe I'll do it when lockdown's over. Not right now.
Do you and Richard have kind of things that you do together from a health and well-being perspective? And do you think it's easier when you do it as a family?
He loves working out. He absolutely
He's an
loves
athlete,
it.
right?
Yeah, well, he just he's really good at having forethought and thinking, I'm going to feel this good after it. Whereas I'm the procrastinator. I'm like, oh, I can't be bothered. And I don't really think about how I feel later. So we have quite different exercise regimes and philosophies. But on the weekend, we're both really active because we'll take the kid out and it's generally just to exhaust him so he sleeps. So we do a lot of just walking and talking. And that's probably what we do together. And then we'll both look at our fitness watches and be like, wow, we just did 15,000 steps or whatever. So it's not that it's, we're not doing it on purpose, but I think our weekends are very active in that way, which is a really nice way to connect.
And what about grooming products and beauty products? Do you share? Have you introduced him to kind of looking after his skin and well-being better?
Loves it. So I have the Omnilux at-home mask, which I use when I remember. But again, I'm lazy and I'm tired by the night time. I just want to go to bed. But oftentimes he'll come out and say, can I use the red thing? And I'm like, yeah, go use the red thing. He loves using the red thing. And then I catch him taking selfies and sending to his friends. He's really good with his skincare. He's got that beautiful Greek skin that's just the perfect amount of oiliness that he doesn't really age. And when men get nice wrinkles, they just look great. So he does what I tell him to do. And then his fragrance collection is probably bigger than mine. He's obsessed with Tom Ford. He's just obsessed with fragrances. He'd probably have about 40. So that's his beauty thing. Yeah. It's very cute.
I love that. And do you think that, because he's got an athletic background, he was a former football player, right?
Yeah, not professionally, but he still plays footy. He still plays footy when he's allowed. But yes, he's obsessed with all footy and fitness and all that sort of stuff.
So do you think it's kind of nice and easier to get him on board if you are going to have a health kick and you're kind of both going to commit to it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's good because if I want to have a health kick, he's 1,000% for me because I will come up with every excuse why I can't go for a walk, why I can't get to Pilates. The toddler or this and that. And he's like, I'll take the toddler. It's all good. He'll almost force me into being healthy, which as an Aries, I don't like because I'm like, well, you tell me to do one thing and I'm going to do the other. But yes, if I'm trying to get back on the wagon, he's my biggest supporter and biggest motivator, which is really good, actually, I must say. And he likes to eat a lot healthier than I do. He was raised to not eat the chicken skin on barbecue chicken. He'll throw that out. Whereas that's basically the only part I want to eat. So it's good to be around him because he's generally at a higher level of wellness than I am, if that makes sense.
Yep, I do. Are you skincare or makeup? Which is your favorite?
Oh gosh, what a question.
Choose a child.
I know. I'd have to say skincare now. Had you asked me 5-10 years ago, it was definitely makeup. But I think my lifestyle's changed now. My needs have changed. I'm trying to reverse a lot of the damage I did back then when I sunbaked and all that sort of stuff. I used to go out a lot more and have more of a social life. So makeup was really big for me. I still love makeup, but day to day, I would reach for far more skincare products than I would makeup products now. And so I think just my life stage and my age, I'd have to say skin.
And if you weren't getting sent things, where would you go to for getting the right skincare for your skin type?
Ooh, amazing. Again, I have to say Bellamy's, my friend Karina at Bellamy's in Double Bay, because she does, with every consult, when you go to see her, she does a scan and she checks your collagen levels and hydration levels and all those sorts of things. And I think it's really great because it's very evidence-based.
Yeah.
Even oftentimes now I'll say, okay, I'm starting this skincare routine. Let's scan me before and after. And she can see the results of whatever brand I'm using. It might not be the brand she recommends, but she will be my actual scientific test case by what she'll test, if a range is working on me. So if I wasn't in this industry, I'd go and see her.
Yeah.
I'd just go and see anyone reputable that understand skin health. Sure, they might stock a certain brand or brands, but that they're going to put your skin health above pushing product. I think that a lot of regular people get confused because they'll go to one place that only stocks one brand and pushes that to the nth degree. Whereas I think if you can find an expert that's more about you, I think that that's really important.
And what role do you think people like you and I have in the space in between? Because I mean, we're experts in that we have experience, but we're not skin therapists. We're not doing. Yeah. Do you think listening to people like us, there's a place for it, or should we do it more for fun and the fairy dust, but the building blocks should be professionally prescribed?
Sure. I mean, I think it depends on the individual person. I think if someone has generally good skin and they just want to try something new or they want to treat, absolutely listen to people like us who are industry experts, but not skincare experts. We're not qualified in skin. I think if you've got, severe acne or any sort of really debilitating issue that's causing you trauma, absolutely go to a qualified skin expert, dermatologist, whatever it may be. I mean, I think it's testament to You Beauty, the podcast's success is that it's problem and solution. 2 people call in every episode and we answer theirs. Obviously, we're never going to recommend prescription medication or answer a question that is beyond our means. But oftentimes it'll just be, I wear glasses and my makeup smudges. What's the best mascara? Or I've heard vitamin C is really great. What's a good one under $50? So I think that there's a place for people like you and I in problem and solution-based beauty. But I think if someone has a proper issue, then they need to go to a doctor and go to the pros.
You and I have talked about, high-low in fashion and high-low in beauty. Where do you splurge and where do you reckon it's just save?
Yeah. Okay. High-low I love because I think finally you can be proud about using a $3 lip balm and you can put it on your Instagram and you don't have to kind of hide it in your handbag. I'm so proud to find bargains, probably more so than I am to recommend an expensive product because that's easy. For what we call savies on the podcast, I'm obsessed with iHerb. iHerb's a big American online store that's it's kind of like a health food store, but it's got so much makeup and skincare. I do an order probably once a month and I just buy random things. Honestly, the finds I've found on there, there's this $7 foundation. I'll send you a link if you'd like to include it. It's one of the best foundations I've ever used. It's $7. So I go on there and I also love going to Chemist Warehouse and Priceline. I just love looking around a pharmacy.
Me too.
I don't know. Even when I travel overseas, it's the first place I go is the pharmacy, no matter where I am. Splurge for me would probably be fragrance. I still purchase fragrances, even though we're very lucky to receive many to trial. I just think fragrances, candles, that sort of sensorial, I'll always splurge on that. And even like a bougie body wash. I love a fancy, like a Chanel body wash or something like that. You just feel a bit special when you use it.
And do you rotate your skincare, makeup, fragrance routine often?
Yes, definitely. So I have a little marble plate in my bathroom, and on that is my weekly, whatever I'm testing weekly. Because we recommend so many products on the podcast, I have to trial a lot because a lot I try I wouldn't recommend. So to find enough to recommend. I rotate makeup the most, obviously, because I think you can tell if a makeup product's going to work with you for you after 1 or 2 wears. You know if you like a mascara, you know if a foundation wears well. Skincare less often because oftentimes you need to give it some time to work. But I can often tell from skincare if I like it from a sensorial purpose from the first or second time I've used it. Does it peel? Does my makeup sit okay? Is it right for my skin type? If the answer is no, I'll move on. If the answer is yes, then I'll keep with it to see if I'm enjoying it and if the results that they promise are coming. So yeah, I'm mixing it up a lot, and sometimes it's to the detriment of my skin. I tried a product, about a week ago now, and I had the most horrific breakout. It was a makeup product, believe it or not, but I had such bad breakout that I'm just healing it now. And we know all the things to do. So I stopped everything, went back to basics to try and fix this breakout. But I think people don't realize that we do put our face on the line. Sometimes something sounds really good and it's just not, or it's just not right for us. And so half the time we've got really good skin, or me personally, I've got really good skin, and half the time I don't, because a product that I've tried hasn't been right, and then I'm trying to fix it.
Do you have a Hall of Fame skincare products that you repeatedly go back to?
Yep, my favorite retinol product. It's by a brand called Beauty Pacific. Not many people know about. I think
I use their primer. I love that primer. Have
you
tried the oil primer?
Yeah, it's beautiful. The one in the blue bottle.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
So it's called Super Booster 3, but there's two types. You need the clinical one that's got the blue and red packaging. You can buy just the regular one with the blue packaging off Adore Beauty. That's not it. You need the clinical one. It's such a beautiful retinol. It's really easy to use. You don't need to buffer it. It's no irritation, and you just wake up feeling really glowy and delicious. It's not that expensive. I think it's about $120, which is a lot of money, but for an effective clinical skincare product, it's really good. It came to mind because I literally cut open a tube last night and was like trying to dig out the last of it. So I love that. What else? Probably It Cosmetics CC cream.
All of us.
Just all of us. I just always go back to that. And, I love trying new base products. I really love foundations and tinted creams, but I find myself going back to that all the time. So I think that's probably, if I'm going to like
two shades.
No, I'm just light, believe it or not.
Wow.
I'm quite olive, but I'm quite fair. So I just wear light. And then in summer, I just warm it up with a bit of cream or powdered bronzer.
And in terms of body products, do you use nice body products? Do you use any body products?
Yeah, so my New Year's resolution, on the podcast we make a beauty New Year's resolution, and mine this year was to take better care of the skin below my boobs, because I'm just, like I said before, I'm lazy, I'm tired, it's either winter and you're too cold. And so I was like, right, I am going to really look after my body hydration, and I've really been trying. And you know what? It works. Like, obviously it works, but you have to be diligent with it. So now when I get out of the shower or the bath, I try to hydrate as soon as I can while my skin's still warm and damp. I really love the Biology serum. It's a face and body serum. It's so beautiful on the face. It's really restorative. It almost feels like a liquid honey. It's hard to explain. Really unusual texture. Really, really effective. There's another brand called Qued. I think this is how you pronounce it. Qued Skincare, QED. It's a lady out of Sydney, and it's formulated for extremely sensitive skin, but they do what it's called a body butter.
Yeah, QED, it's lovely.
Yes, there you go.
It's lovely. She's a pharmacist.
Isn't it? There you go. Okay, so I first trialed this body product. It's almost like a body, it's like a hard oil, and it comes in a jasmine fragrance, but it's still for sensitive skin. That is so nourishing and hydrating. So they're the two that I've been alternating in winter that are actually doing something. I mean, I think a lot of body products, I feel like some moisturizers work for the 12 hours you've got them on or whatever it might be, but I feel like these are actually nourishing the deeper layers of the skin and hydrating my body, if that makes sense.
Definitely.
And then body scrub wise, I'm a bit of a tart when it comes to body scrubs. I'll just use anything. I just tried the Goop one that I actually really liked, but I didn't want to like it because I don't like Goop, but it's a nice body scrub. I'll just, whatever's going, as long as it doesn't make too much mess in my bathroom.
And do you do anything for your teeth? Because teeth is such an easy win to make you look instantly younger, prettier.
I don't, because I'm terrified of the dentist. Oh. I had braces when I was young, and then they've gone straight back to how they were before, because no 15-year-old's going to wear their retainer when they want to meet boys. I've never had whitening. When I met my husband, this is quite disgusting, but he's mentioned my teeth, and I said, I haven't been to the dentist since I had my braces off when I was 15. And I met him when I was 31. That's how much I'm terrified of the dentist. I know. So he now makes me go every 6 months to his dentist, who I adore, who knows I'm terrified, who's very gentle. But no, besides getting a 6-monthly clean, that's all I do. I'm too scared of the pain of whitening. Nah, it's not for me.
And did you cut your hair because you thought it would make you look younger, or it would suit you more, or why did you cut your hair?
You know what? It grew so long that I liked it when I did it, but I did it once a fortnight because it was such a mission to blow dry and curl and do all of the things. And I'm just too busy. So I was wearing this lovely hair up in a knot the whole time.
Yeah.
So I wanted a style that was more user-friendly, I guess, that I could just actually do and then feel half put together rather than just wearing a bun. So it was pretty much for my lifestyle, I guess. I think it makes me look slightly older. I feel a bit like a soccer mum. But I do love it, and it's easier to wash, and there's not as much knots and there's not as much hair going down the drain. I get a lot of hair shed. I think a lot of women do, but
yeah,
I swear I don't know how I have any hair left on my head after I wash shampoo. I'm like, what the hell? But yeah, it was probably just a lifestyle thing.
To wrap it up, I'm going to ask you if you could go back and give Leigh some amazing beauty advice to take her through her 20s now to her 40s. Now that you know better, what would it be?
Oh God, I've got a couple. I wouldn't get that horrific lip filler. I wouldn't get any of the 5 tattoos that I've got because I hate them all. And I want to have them removed, but I don't think the technology is quite there yet. I want to wait till it's a little less painful and a little faster. And to wear sunscreen earlier, because now I'm so diligent with my sunscreen, but I didn't start that till my early 30s. I wish had I started that in my early 20s, it'd be a whole different game. So can I tell younger Leigh all those things?
Yes, all of the above. And if you could invent the ultimate beauty rejuvenation product, what would it be? What would it do?
It exists. It's just extremely expensive.
What is it?
At-home LED, but for body. So yeah, if I could get one of those for an affordable price, I would sleep in it. I think every solarium should be converted to an LED bed, just for the rejuvenation purposes of your whole body. And I know a couple of places that have them. I think that we'll see a lot more happening in that space, but I desperately want one for home, but I don't have a spare $500,000.
I know, right? Well, I can't wait. I'm so excited to be doing this with you. And I love to hear your secrets. And I love that you are so generous with all the things that you've experienced and you recommend. I've definitely been influenced by you in the past, and I'm sure I will be in the future. And it was wonderful to speak to you. Thank you for sharing your ageless story with me.
Oh, you're amazing. Thank you for having me. You're the best.
Bye.
I hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you did, please share and rate this episode. I'd love that.